there. I'm building a wood store at the moment. It's quite a big store, but we've had some really strong winds lately and I want to make sure this is really firm. So I've dug some really deep holes and I'm filling them up with stone to make sure that they stand strong and don't get blown away. Jesus told us a story once about two men who built their houses. But actually I'm feeling a bit tired at the moment. So let's go on inside and I'll tell you more about it in there. Oh, that's better. I've had a bit of a rest and I've given my back a bit of a rest too. That's better. Now then, I think I was telling you about a story involving two men who built their houses. There were once two men who wanted to build a house. The first man was rather lazy and he wanted an easy life. He decided to build his house on the sand. It took him no time at all to build his house because, well, it was so easy to dig the foundations for the house in the sand. Life for the other man, however, was not so easy. It was hard work digging the foundations on the rock, and so it took him a long time to build his house. Eventually, both houses were finished, and both men sat in their houses rather pleased with what they had done. That night, though, a great storm began to blow and the rain began to bash against the walls. The house that was on the rock was battered by the storm, but because it had strong, deep foundations, it stood firm and the man was safe and dry inside. On the other hand, the house on the sand was not so stable. It was also battered by the storm, but because its foundations were not very deep or very strong, the house crumbled and fell down flat. Jesus taught that we could be like those men. We can either be like the man who built his house on the rock with a strong foundation for our lives, things like family, faith and friends, or we can be like the man who built the house on sand and be too lazy to have strong foundations for our lives. We can waste our time and do things that are not right. If you were honest, which man are you like? I think if we are honest, we would have to say that often we can be a mixture of the two men, but we should all try to be more like the man who built his house on the rock. Well, I can hear the wind blowing. I think there's a storm coming. I'd better go and check that my wood store is okay. I would think so with the deep foundations I dug. But you take care now and try and make those wise choices. See you again soon. Bye.